All right, so you're thinking about becoming a foreign correspondent, not just a travel writer,
Yeah.
but someone who brings the world to their audience. Well, today, we're diving into RoleCatcher's guides, from career overviews to their amazing AI that can help you tailor your application.
It's a field that demands a lot, but the rewards can be huge.
Okay, so first, let's paint a picture of what this job really entails. The RoleCatcher Guide mentions bridging gaps between nations. It's not just about reporting, it's about fostering understanding.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that you're operating in a world where information is power. You're not just observing events, you're interpreting them for an audience that might have very different preconceived notions.
And the work environment, let's just say, it's not for everyone. Long hours, irregular schedules, and the guide even mentions conflict zones. What stands out to you about that kind of lifestyle?
Well, it demands resilience, adaptability, and a certain level of comfort with risk. But for those who thrive on challenge and want to be where history is happening, it's incredibly exciting.
Now let's say you've got the drive, and you're prepping for that interview. The RoleCatcher Interview Guide lays out some tough questions you might face. The first one is, how did you get interested in foreign reporting? It seems simple, but
This is where you show genuine passion. The interviewer wants to see if you understand what this role truly entails. Don't just say you like to travel. Talk about specific events that sparked your interest, maybe a book you read or documentary that moved you.
so connect those personal experiences to your aspirations. What if they follow up with, what region or topic are you most passionate about covering and why?
This is your chance to shine, highlight your knowledge, and show you've been thinking critically about the world.
Here's where RoleCatcher's AI can really help. It analyzes job descriptions and suggests relevant regions or topics to mention, based on the employer's focus.
It's like having an insider's guide to the interview. The AI helps you tailor your answers to what the specific employer is looking for, increasing your chances of standing out.
Okay, next question. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing foreign correspondents today?
This one is about demonstrating your awareness of the complexities of the field. Think about censorship in certain countries, the safety risks involved, or the ever-evolving media landscape.
So don't just list them off. Offer your perspective on how these challenges impact reporting and how journalists can adapt. Maybe talk about the importance of verifying information in the age of social media.
Exactly. You could even mention the ethical dilemmas involved in reporting, from conflict zones or areas with limited press freedom.
What if they then ask, can you share an example of a time you had to overcome a challenge while reporting or researching a story?
This is where you showcase your problem-solving skills and resilience. Have a story ready that demonstrates your ability to think on your feet and find creative solutions.
All right, moving on to, how do you approach building relationships with sources in a foreign country? This seems like a crucial one, especially given the cultural differences.
Absolutely. The interviewer wants to know how you establish trust and gather information. When language barriers and cultural norms are at play, highlight your willingness to listen and learn from sources, and your ability to communicate effectively, even with limited language skills.
It's about building rapport and understanding, not just getting the information. RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful here by suggesting culturally appropriate phrases or communication styles based on the target region.
That's right. It can help you avoid potential cultural faux pas and demonstrate sensitivity in your approach.
Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of reporting. The next question is, how do you balance reporting on sensitive or controversial topics with a need to maintain your safety and security?
This is where you showcase your judgment and decision-making skills. In high-pressure situations, start by outlining your approach to assessing risk, how you evaluate the potential consequences of your reporting for yourself and your sources.
So you're showing them you're not reckless,
Yeah.
but you also have the courage to pursue important stories. What kind of follow-up questions could they ask here?
They might ask for a specific example of a time you had to prioritize safety over getting a story, or how you would handle receiving threats or intimidation.
It's about being prepared for the unexpected and demonstrating your ability to make tough calls under pressure.
Welcome back to our deep dive into becoming a foreign correspondent. We've been tackling some tough interview questions, and we're ready for more.
You bet. Let's jump right back into the RoleCatcher Interview Guide. This next question is all about resourcefulness. How do you stay up to date on developments in your beat?
The interviewer wants to see that you're proactive, not just passively consuming news. Go beyond just reading the news and talk about your diverse sources of information, specific publications, websites, think tanks, even social media accounts that you follow.
But it's not just about quantity, right? It's about quality.
Uh-huh.
And being able to filter through the noise. What are some strategies for demonstrating that?
Well, you could mention how you use news aggregators to scan headlines quickly, or how you subscribe to email alerts for breaking news in your region of interest. Maybe you even regularly connect with experts in the field to get their insights.
It's about painting a picture of someone who's constantly absorbing information and filtering it through their expertise. And I'm curious, what if they follow up with, can you give me an example of a recent development in your chosen beat and explain its significance?
That's where your deep knowledge and passion come in. Have a specific event or trend ready to discuss, and be prepared to articulate its impact on the region and the world.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, the guide asks, how do you approach covering a story from a country or culture different from your own?
This question gets to the heart of what it means to be a foreign correspondent, navigating cultural contexts, and reporting with sensitivity the interviewer wants to see. If you have the self-awareness and empathy to approach stories from a place of understanding, not judgment.
So it's about more than just getting the facts. It's about understanding the nuances of culture and how they shape perspectives.
Right. You might talk about the importance of researching local customs and norms before arriving in a new place, or your willingness to learn from local people and challenge your own assumptions.
What if they dig deeper and ask, have you ever experienced a cultural misunderstanding while reporting? How did you handle it?
Be ready to share an example. That demonstrates your cultural sensitivity and your ability to learn from your mistakes.
This is where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful. It can analyze your practice responses and flag any potential cultural insensitivities.
Based on the target region's customs and norms.
Exactly. It can even suggest alternative phrasing or approaches that would be more culturally appropriate, ensuring that you're presenting yourself in the best possible light.
Okay. Let's talk about accuracy. The next question is, how do you approach fact-checking and verification in your reporting? This is non-negotiable for a journalist, especially in the age of misinformation. Describe your process for verifying information from multiple sources, and be specific. Mention tools and techniques you use.
So if I were to say, I double-check everything, that wouldn't be enough.
No, you need to show them you have a system. Talk about cross-referencing information from reputable news organizations, academic journals, or even government reports.
What about when sources disagree? How would you handle that?
That's a great point. Mention your approach to resolving conflicting accounts, maybe consulting experts, seeking additional sources, or even acknowledging discrepancies in your reporting.
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
Now, I love this next question. How do you approach developing and pitching story ideas to your editor? It shows initiative and a nose for news.
Absolutely. This is your chance to showcase your creativity, news judgment, and understanding of what makes a story compelling.
So it's more than just having an idea. It's about being able to sell it. How would you explain your process?
Talk about how you identify compelling angles and trends. Maybe you're noticing patterns in data or hearing whispers of a developing situation, and explain how you tailor your pitches to your editor's interests and the publication style.
It's about understanding your audience and what resonates with them. What kind of follow-up questions might come up here?
They might ask for an example of a successful pitch you've made, the challenges you overcame, and the impact it had.
Remember how we talked about RoleCatcher's AI helping you tailor your answers? It can be a game changer here, too.
Right. It can analyze the job description and the employer's media focus, suggesting ways to frame your pitching experience to align with their specific interests and editorial vision.
That's amazing. Okay, moving on to a question about your digital skills. What experience do you have with different media platforms?
It's as crucial in today's media landscape. It's not enough to just be a great writer. Foreign correspondents need to be versatile, comfortable with print, online, video, even social media.
What if your experience is mainly in traditional writing? How do you approach this question?
Don't shy away from it. Highlight any experience you have, even if it's on a smaller scale. Maybe you've written for your school newspaper, contributed to a blog, or even managed social media accounts.
And emphasize your willingness to learn and adapt. What if they ask, can you tell me about a time you had to adapt your reporting style for a different media platform?
Share an example of how you've had to adjust your approach, whether it's writing a concise news piece for online versus a longer, more in-depth feature for print.
Okay, let's tackle a question that's often overlooked. How do you handle stress and pressure in demanding situations?
This is a classic interview question, but it's especially relevant for this job. They want to see if you can keep a cool head when things get tough, which happens a lot in this field.
So what's the best way to answer this without sounding like you crumble under pressure?
Focus on your coping mechanisms and strategies for staying calm. Maybe you're a master of organization and time management. Maybe you thrive on deadlines. Maybe you have a mindfulness practice that helps you stay grounded.
It's about self-awareness and showcasing your ability to manage your emotions effectively. Could they ask for a specific example here?
Absolutely. Be prepared to share an anecdote about a time you faced a stressful situation, a tight deadline, a technical difficulty, maybe even unexpected change of plans, and how you navigated it successfully.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful. It can analyze your practice responses, not just for content, but for tone and delivery.
That's right. It can help you project confidence and composure, even when talking about challenging situations.
All right, let's get into a question specific to this role. How do you approach working with fixers and translators in a foreign country?
This is a crucial one. Fixers and translators are essential partners for foreign correspondents, providing local knowledge, language expertise, and logistical support.
It's about more than just finding someone who speaks the language, right?
Absolutely. It's about building trust, understanding cultural differences, and treating them as true partners.
What kind of follow-up questions could come up here?
They might ask about your experience navigating cultural differences with a fixer or translator, or how you would handle disagreements or conflicts.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help you anticipate these questions and tailor your responses based on the specific region and cultural context.
Right. It can even suggest ways to highlight the skills and qualities that are most important for successful collaboration in that particular cultural setting.
Okay. One more question before we wrap up this section. How do you stay informed about current events and developments in your potential beat?
This goes beyond just saying, I read the news. The interviewer wants to see your passion and proactive approach to staying ahead of the curve.
So what are some specific strategies we could mention?
Talk about your diverse sources of information, specific publications, websites, think tanks, even social media accounts that you follow. Mention how you use news aggregators and email alerts to stay on top of breaking news, and how you connect with experts in the field for insights.
It's about showing that you're constantly absorbing information, filtering it through your expertise, and always seeking out diverse perspectives. Now, what if they ask you to elaborate on a specific event or trend you've been following in your chosen beat?
Have an example ready. Choose something recent and relevant, and be prepared to explain its significance and potential impact.
And once again, RoleCatcher's AI can be invaluable here. It can suggest relevant sources and resources based on the employer's focus and the specific job description.
It can also help you refine your answer, ensuring that you're highlighting the most pertinent information and showcasing your expertise effectively.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered a wide range of interview questions and seen how RoleCatcher's AI can empower candidates to prepare strategically, tailoring their responses to specific job requirements and cultural contexts.
And we've seen how crucial it is to go beyond generic answers and demonstrate a deep understanding of the complexities and challenges of this profession.
But there's still more to unpack. Stay with us. And in part 3 of this deep dive, we'll explore the broader aspects of this career, delving into the ethical considerations, the personal challenges, and long-term rewards of being a foreign correspondent. Welcome back. We've covered a ton of ground on how to ace that foreign correspondent interview. But now it's time to shift gears a bit and talk about what happens after you land the job.
Right. We've talked about the skills and the prep, but now let's dive into the heart of what it means to live and breathe this career.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide emphasizes that you're not just visiting a country, you're becoming part of its fabric. It's not enough to just understand the political landscape. You need to understand the people.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, you're bridging cultures. Your reporting is a lens through which your audience sees a different part of the world, and that carries a huge responsibility.
So how do you actually go about immersing yourself in a new culture when you're on assignment? It's not something you can just learn from a briefing book, right?
It takes a conscious effort. Talk to people from all walks of life, not just the usual sources. Pay attention to social cues, the unspoken rules that govern daily interactions.
It's like becoming a student all over again. The guide also mentions the importance of continuous learning. What does that look like for a seasoned foreign correspondent?
Well, the world is constantly changing, and you need to keep up. You're reading, researching, attending conferences, even taking language courses. It's about staying intellectually curious and never assuming you have all the answers.
And language skills are essential. Even if you have a translator, being able to communicate directly, even on a basic level, shows respect.
Absolutely. It builds trust with your sources. And that's the foundation of good reporting. RoleCatcher actually has some fantastic resources for language learning, tailored to specific regions, which is a great perk.
Speaking of resources, the guide also gets real about safety, especially in certain regions. How do you balance the desire to cover important stories with the very real risks involved?
Yeah, this raises an important question. For any aspiring foreign correspondent, what are your personal boundaries when it comes to risk? You need to know them before you're in a situation where you have to make a split-second decision.
So it's about being honest with yourself, about what you can handle. The guide also recommends having a solid safety plan and a support system in place, colleagues, editors, and security experts you can rely on.
And RoleCatcher's AI can actually connect you with mentors and experienced journalists who can offer guidance and support, which is incredibly valuable for those starting out.
Okay, we've talked about the challenges, the skills, even the risks, but let's talk about the rewards. What makes this career worth all the effort?
Well, for many, it's about witnessing history firsthand, being on the ground, where events are unfolding, and sharing those stories with the world. It's about giving a voice to those who might not otherwise be heard.
It's about making a difference, shaping the narrative, and having an impact on the world.
And even though it's demanding and unpredictable, there's an incredible sense of purpose that comes with this job. You're not just reporting the news, you're contributing to a global understanding of complex issues.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener, who's dreaming of becoming a foreign correspondent?
It means that if you have a passion for international news, a commitment to truth, and a willingness to embrace the unknown, then this could be the path for you. It's a career that demands courage, resilience, and a constant desire to learn and grow.
And remember, you don't have to navigate this journey alone. RoleCatcher offers a wealth of resources, from career guides and AI-powered tools to a network of mentors and experienced journalists who can help you succeed.
So as you embark on this exciting journey, here's a final thought to leave you with. What stories are you most passionate about telling? What unique perspective do you bring to the world of international journalism? What mark do you want to leave on the world?
That's all for this deep dive, but the conversation doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep chasing those stories that matter.